Welcome to Points of View. Today, my guests are Jim Goulka, Managing Director of Arizona Technology Investment Forum, ATIF, and Eric Miller, who's Principal of Phoenix Analysis Design Technologies. PADT is the acronym for them. And we're going to discuss today three topics. One is angel investment, and the other manufacturing technology and entrepreneurship. And with that, we'll begin the program. So let's begin the conversation with Eric over here, telling our viewers more about the firm that you're a principal of. So give us a snapshot, because we're going to get into it a little more deeper as the program moves on.
Okay, great. Well, our company is Phoenix Analysis and Design Technologies, and what we do is we make innovation work. That's our slogan, and the way we do that is we provide engineering services to companies who are developing physical products. So anybody that's making a physical, real product for a consumer or aerospace or pretty much any industry out there, medical devices, they come to us to help them with their engineering. And we provide them with things like simulation, product development, and rapid prototyping. And we do all those to kind of help them figure out what their product needs to look like, how to make it meet the requirements of their design goals, and all the things that are required to get a product to market.
You know, we're going to talk later in the program about talent. I was reading through your website, and the talent you have there is pretty amazing. So we're going to touch on that as well. And Jim, you've been on Points of View before. You're a great guest to have. Tell us about ATIF.
Well, it's because ATIF is a great group. We are an angel group, which means we're a group of 46 men and women who invest their own personal capital in early stage technology companies, principally in Arizona. We've invested in 21 companies over the last 5 years, and of those, 17 are Arizona companies.
Well, that's good. And we're also later in the program going to talk about angel investment, because I know you have April 17th deadline on your website for submission on applications, and we'll get to that as well. You know, one of the interesting things about the arena that we're in, whether it be a startup or emerging companies, is the talent behind it. And so there's three things I like to chat about today. One is the entrepreneurship, the other is the investment, and there's some significant activity occurring in Arizona concerning investment, which is a good thing for the state. Science and technology, I did a little bit of reading on STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math proficiency. That's going to be an interesting topic for us to grab hold of, particularly as it relates to Arizona. And so let me begin with the education side. There was a ranking of states on education from best to worst on math and science. And what was interesting about that ranking, it had a map that was color-coded, and then the legend on one side indicated where the individual states fell in terms of the color code. I'm glad someone's doing color code, because it's easy to pick out who's below and who's above. But what was interesting, and perhaps not to my surprise, is the top schools that are preparing students for engineering career are Massachusetts, Minnesota, and New Jersey. Basically the eastern and Midwest schools, if you will, Minnesota being Midwest, and Massachusetts and New Jersey being East schools. And I know both of you come from very, very good schools, and we'll maybe touch on those as well. The other is that unfortunate is you got the top three schools, and you got to have the top three bottom states, I should say. And the bottom three, unfortunately, are Mississippi in terms of the way they were ranked, Mississippi, West Virginia, and Louisiana. Now, where does Arizona fall? Not too far above the bottom. And that's an unfortunate ranking, because one could interpret that to say, are we doing enough for our K-12 schooling system to prepare students for a career in engineering, and that's where STEM comes in, the science, technology, engineering, and math. So, Eric, you're into that business of, and this is where the talent comes in. The website does devote time, content, talking about the talent you have. So tell us about the talent you have and why you need that talent and how that relates to engineering, science, math, and technology.
Well, our staff is made up mostly of engineers, and what we do is we solve people's problems. And to do that, you have to have a really strong theoretical background, and that's where the STEM education comes in. You have to really understand math, you have to understand the science behind engineering, and you need to understand engineering. And if you don't have that foundation, then all the great problem-solving skills in the world can't help you because you don't have the tools you need to solve those problems. So STEM is really important to us. We do hire mostly from the state of Arizona, and we're small enough to where we can be choosy and we can find the right people. But a lot of our customers really struggle with filling their ranks with the right engineers these days.
Now, if you're advising, guiding firms to recruit engineering talent, typically where do you send them? I mean, state schools. Do you have a rule of thumb on that?
Well, I personally have a bias towards research-based schools.
Okay.
So because I really feel that strong foundation is really important. So we tend to recommend places like Stanford and MIT and Caltech, and if you can get students from places like that, my alma mater, UC Berkeley, any of the UC system schools, it's a really, that kind of a student generally pays off much more because of that strong theoretical background that they have. Here in the state, we find that's really true of U of A as well. They have very strong research university, and the students that come out of there have a real strong foundation.
Well, that's great. Just to draw a distinction, the UC systems in California are the research institutions as opposed to the state schools. The Cal State schools are more the teaching universities.
Yeah.
So coming from Berkeley, you got that R&D, research and development orientation.
I never saw a real piece of hardware until after I graduated, yeah.
Oh, really?
It's actually true.
It was.